Feast your eyes on the Tidewater Boats flagship, the 380cc. We're here with Legacy Marine today with a couple of Tidewaters to show you this thing and all the details that you guys enjoy. So this is the first time that we see trial it. We've seen it at a couple of boat shows, so we're excited to see what this thing can do. Let's jump on board and take a look around. So let's start out with the power package here on the transom. We got triple V10 400s by Mercury Marine, providing incredible low-end torque. We jumped up on plane in absolutely nothing, barely no bow rise at all from the 380, and this thing will top out at close to 70 miles an hour. You'll burn about 1 mile per gallon, doing anywhere from 38 to 42 miles per hour at about 4,000 to 4,200 RPM. So usually when we jump on these boats, we like to find a nice calm area so we can put the drone up in the air and shoot from a chase boat, preferably if possible. We were able to get that done today just so you can get a nice clean look at the profile, and I get to kind of check things out while we're doing it. Now, obviously you guys want to see what it does in rough water. Although this is one of the calmer days that we've seen in the last 2 months easily, it's blowing 8 with 12 knot gusts, so we should see 2 to 3 foot seas. So we're gonna run through the inlet, see what it looks like running offshore, put the drone back up in the air, and show you guys some of those exterior shots. All right, so we picked the perfect day for this. Right now it's slack tide, low tide, so this little sandbar exposes itself, allowing us to beach the 380 right here. Gives us a minute to check out the exterior. You can see the hull side on it. It's got a twin-stepped hull bottom design and then a massive flare. So Jason, if you come this way, you'll see how aggressive this flare is, and this is basically meant to deflect water up and out away from the boat. And then all these chines and lifting strakes play a part in the performance of the boat as well. And we went offshore for a little bit. It wasn't real rough. We had some 2-footers, maybe some 3-footers, kind of rolling around for the drone footage. But you can see it was a solid boat, ran well, and kept us dry the entire time with this tremendous flare. And if you look closely, they have a camera up here on the bow. A really cool feature for your windlass. If you're running the boat on your own, you can deploy it, see where the anchor's at, where the line's at, where your scope's at. And then when you retract it back, putting it into its position to run the boat, you can see that as well. So you can basically do this on your own without somebody kind of leaning over the bow to keep eyes on it. I personally really like to see how a boat sits in the water, and right now obviously the bow is kind of beached up here, so it's a little higher than it would be, but you can see the lines of this thing are actually really nice. In the running footage you can see that clearly as well. You got a starboard side hull side door, got the V10 400s in the back. You can see the line of the hardtop and the angles that they put into that console windshield. So it's cool to be able to sit back just from here, admire the beauty of it. At the end of the day, designing something like this is an art form, it's artwork. I personally see it that way. So besides the performance of the boat, besides, you know, the technical stuff and the electronics and all that, you got to be able to fall in love with a boat, and that usually happens from the visual side of it, from right here at the exterior. I'd like to be able to pull up into a sandbar or something and have people say, wow, you know, that thing is pretty. And I tend to just sit there and stare at it from time to time. So they did a nice job. Again, they have that kind of break in the shear line, giving it that, you know, offshore sport fish type lines, and then that aggressive bow flare, which is quite impressive. It's a Tidewater, you know, they've done a lot of good things in the production world, and they seem to be getting better and better, and this is kind of their flagship and their, I guess, way to show us their capabilities. All right, now we're gonna go through this boat in detail. I know what you guys are always waiting for. So I have Miguel. Miguel, thank you very much for having us.
Of course, yeah.
First of all, he's obviously the expert on it. I want to walk through it with you. Maybe I'll ask you some questions as we normally do, but let's go ahead and start at the bow and kind of work our way back.
Absolutely. Here at the bow, obviously you got your windlass anchor with your windlass foot controls. There's also controls up at the helm. What's nice about this bow area, all the cushions are magnetic, so easy to access, no more buttons or anything like that. Easy to access. Coolers, everything's insulated on the boat. You keep ice in here, drinks, food, anything you got to bring over to the Bahamas. Plenty of storage as well for your passengers. little cubbies, 2 wireless chargers. On this side, you have table control. So there's right below, there's a table that comes up halfway. Put a filler cushion in there, or it comes up all the way, and you could use it as a table itself.
Yeah, notice although this boat has so much flare, usually when you put that much flare in a hull design, you eat up like a ton of this bow area, but this is plentiful to say the least. It's big up here.
Yeah, Tidewaters are known for their beams, their Carolina flares, so they call it, and they do a really good job at maintaining that beam from bow to stern. A lot of other manufacturers get a little narrow up front because of that flare, but luckily Tidewater maintains their flare. It actually gets even a little bit wider once you go around midship. That flare allows it to utilize every single space we possibly can on the boat.
Yeah, notice you got cup holder space there. I mean, you can throw your flip-flops, things under there, so it's utilizing every square inch of the boat, which is nice. So you can never have too much storage. So you have JL audio speakers all over this thing, 2 huge 12-inch subwoofers. So the sound system's got to be phenomenal, and every one of these boats, especially the sides, has like, I see 3 different entertainment areas. You got the bow, you got the helm area, and then you got the cockpit. So up here between this forward seating and this lounger we're going to see here in a second, you know, you can have 6-8 people here, no problem. Sit down, grab some food. I'm sure you can put a shade of some sort over this thing and really have a nice day in an area just like this.
Absolutely, yeah. If you're at the sandbar, want to entertain up front, not fishing, or you came back from your fishing spot and you grilled up whatever you caught, you can entertain up here. And then you can also sit comfortably 3 people up at the bow, in front of the helm. And underneath, you get a nice cooler as well, which doesn't eat up too much space underneath, as there is a cabin below as well.
Yeah, it's nice if you're hanging out up here to be able to put, you know, some drinks, not have to walk all the way back.
Absolutely.
And this length is quite it's quite large. And again, I don't know how many feet this is across, but you can easily fit 3 people.
Yeah, with a cup holder up, you could fit 3 people if you really love each other. Absolutely.
Nice. Working our way into the console, you can see it's a large console, so plenty of room in here. A thick acrylic door that folds and magnetizes itself, heavy duty hardware, and you got friction hinges to basically keep it in place. Miguel's inside, he can show you how much room we've got in there. And what else we got?
Yeah, plenty of room in here. I mean, got a nice berth here, microwave, sink, nice little head here, plenty of access to all of your rigging, your JL audio equipment, your tank for your windshield wiper sprayer, and then I mean every single compartment opens up. Your AC unit, blowing nice and cold in here. Battery switches, all your breakers, everything's easily accessible, which is awesome. Plenty of storage as well. Underneath here, there's storage, and then you got storage underneath the step itself.
Very nice, very spacious. You got a lot of headroom, and it's good to have those big access doors to be able to troubleshoot anything you have pretty easily there. Now jumping up to the helm area, obviously this is an area where we spend a lot of time when you're running a boat. So Miguel, what do we got going on? We got a lot going on.
There's a lot going on here, Alan. So we got triple screens, 2 16s and 22 down the middle, JL audio all around. We got electric anchor light and VHF antenna, just based off those switches right there. VHF main unit right there. We have a VHF secondary right here, can control the entire thing. Of course, Mercury vessel view, JL audio head unit, length trim tabs, your binnacles, joystick, all of your switching right in front of you, easily accessible.
Air conditioning,
which is something to notice here. Right, of course. Here we got that blowing really cold. Nice skylight. Very, very comfortable helm while you're going underway.
Absolutely. So you got good angles to the MFDs. You know, good height. The console is on the taller side, just to, you know, for our short kings out there. I'm 5'8", I'm not huge, but I can see over the bow. But it is on the taller side, just to mention it, but it does give you great visibility, you know, to your electronics. Everything is perfectly placed, easy access to your switch panel. And then when you jump up to your adjustable seat, you know, this is perfect for the long distance run, and it's, you know, really couldn't get more comfortable than this. You got oversized hardtop here, so plenty of shade, but those little moonroof things provide some natural lighting, which I appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes it for a very comfortable ride.
And this AC, some guys, some of you out there always kind of have to have a comment about the AC out here, but if you have experienced it, it's warm out here, but this thing does drop the temperature, at least for these 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
You know, a few degrees, it's noticeable.
Yeah, you're not gonna be the same temperature as inside your house, but it definitely cools it off. Especially if there's no breeze. Luckily today we do have a nice breeze coming at us, but if there's no breeze, you got these 2 vents make a big difference out on the water.
Yeah, if you haven't tried it, get on a boat that has it, try it, you'll notice the difference. And then obviously the AC is predominantly focused on that console space down in there for your cabin if you have a child sleeping, but you can redirect the duct over here and get some air to your, you know, main helm space, which is nice. So you got some additional storage right here for keys, wallets, things like that. We got anything else here behind me?
Additional storage right behind you here. Got a nice little shoe flip-flop storage here.
Those are mine.
2 cubbies, places to put your wallet, keys, stuff to grab relatively quickly.
You do have a step up here if you want to be able to use that.
Nice step here, and then down below you have access to your batteries and everything inside the leaning post.
I don't know if we pointed that out yet, but this is interesting.
We do have an additional 12-inch Garmin MFD right here that if you're fishing or whatever the case may be, luckily these are MFDs now, so you can use them for anything. You can see it coming here off the cockpit area, which a lot of people we've had mention say 12 inches might not be big enough of a screen, especially if you're fishing, but sitting back here, I mean, it doesn't matter what side of the boat you're on, you can see exactly what you're looking at. It gets the job
done. It's nice that you can tuck it away if you're not using it, but basically gets your anglers or your crew back here, you know, to know what's going on without having to have the captain yell it out. So again, you got some rear facing mezzanine seats.
Nice mezzanine seating here. Underneath these seats, we have a nice cutting board, slides in and out. And then underneath that as well, we have an entertainment area with an electric grill and a nice sink that pops up right here.
Oh, so in many boats out there, you either have to choose mezz seats or this entertainment space with, you know, your summer kitchen with grill and sink. Here you have best of both worlds, which is something I don't think I've seen before.
No, it's 2025 is the first year that they made it happen, and I think it's a great touch to be able to have both mezzanine seats, be able to seat people facing aft, and then also be able to grill whatever you catch, lobster, whatever you catch out in the water, and it locks in. So that's another nice touch they added as well. And then to release it, flip that up, and then slides in. And then of course you have a little platform that pops up for your passengers that are seating up here aft.
Nice and elevated too. The visibility from here is pretty nice. Well, I'm not even tall enough to reach these things, but you know, it'll work for some of you guys. Cool, I like it.
And then down below as well, we have another one of those battery access.
Oh, okay.
It just, and this 2 clicks.
Oh, it pops down.
Pops down.
Freshwater shower.
Freshwater shower.
Some Razor light bars. Kind of trying to go through the whole boat here while Jason, his biceps are probably hurting.
Nice touch with this is that you probably didn't notice, Alan, is that there's an electric shade that actually.
Oh no! Look at that.
Slides all the way out. And Tidewater offers these poles here under the gunnel, so you can slide them on and click them off the transom.
Yeah, this is nice. When you're out in the water enough, you know, there's a point where the sun just gets overbearing. You have kids, things like that you don't want them to get toasted all day. It's really nice to be able to have some shade options, to be able to retreat a little bit. Right now, I noticed the temperature change significantly from the sun beating down on me to right now being tucked under this thing. So to have it hidden in that hard top and accessible at all times at a push of a button is awesome.
Yeah, once it's fully extended, these poles under the gunnel lock in place, and it allows you to actually leave it open while you're running. So a lot of other manufacturers, a lot of other boats, you have to tuck it away, and it's a process to continuously bring it in and out every time you want to use it. So you can leave it out, run. We've ran over to the Bahamas with it open and no problems at all. Absolutely.
Awesome.
To finish up the hardtop here, you got a nice freshwater shower. Comes down so you can rinse off once you get out of the water. LED spreader lights all around, forward, side, and then of course your Razor rears. On the starboard side of the leading post, you have a nice fridge. Additional storage for your tackle or any additional items you may need out on the water. And you got its own separate battery switch for the electric grill and the fridge.
Okay, nice. And looping around the other side, kind of pop into this additional storage like we have on that side. I believe this was trash bin, which is great to have. Seemed like all the boats started adding it not too long ago, and then you have access to your batteries, which if you need to get to them, that access is great. You got 2 fish boxes here you said are insulated and macerated?
Insulated and macerated fish boxes. Plenty of storage down below. This boat is optional with a Seakeeper. This one in particular doesn't have one, but that's where your Seakeeper would go. If not, you have plenty of huge storage.
All finished in there, which is great too.
That goes along with your bilge. We have a nice sea chest in there as well for your live wells.
Wow.
You're running fuel selector valves. Everything's readily accessible, easy to maintain if needed.
I gotta tell you, with the sea chest and all that, I wasn't expecting to see this layout in the bilge for a production boat. Might be one of the better setups that I've seen. Is this standard on this boat?
Absolutely. Yeah, everything you see is standard. It's nice that they're make everything readily accessible. I mean, this is their flagship as well, so they want to make sure if something does occur, they want to be able to access it.
I would say the sea chest is not something you see common on a production brand boat. It's great to have to be able to run bait, adequately. Those through hole setups with the pump, usually don't run well, especially if you're going to run any sort of long distance and you want to pressurize your wells and keep your bait, in good condition. That's an excellent, plenty of room to get in there, troubleshoot anything you need. You can reach all the valves with absolutely no problem. Looks good. All right, so we're trying to do our walkthrough here, and Jack is just, slaying the fish. He's got mangrove snapper, a little cuda,
on
got
there.
a jack on the 25 Tidewater, which is built to do exactly what he's doing there. We're all jealous, not in a bad situation ourselves, but a little jealous of his situation. But getting back to the 380, we got a lot of cockpit space back here. It's 11 beam.
Yep.
How much fuel did you mention?
So this boat has 337 gallons as a main tank, and then it's got an auxiliary 69-gallon tank of fuel as well.
Okay. So yeah, you're doing about 1 mile per gallon, 0.9. So you got a good amount of range on this boat as well.
Absolutely.
2 hull side doors.
Twin dive doors. Ladder hooks up at the base of each one. Hides away nicely in the console. Behind that, you have 2 aquarium live wells, and then a nice electric rear bench seat as well. With,
You know how many gallons these live wells are?
I believe it's 35 gallons.
35 gallons a piece. Oh, okay. Push button.
Push button.
You can't be in a hurry to sit down, but
No,
it's nice
no, you can't.
it's nice to be able to have it where you don't have to,
A lot
break
of
your back.
people, especially with a bench this wide, being that we have such a wide beam,
Yep.
a bench this wide would actually be a struggle to
There we go.
bring in and out. But
All right.
once it's out, plenty of seating, an additional 12-inch sub tucked behind as well.
Oh, look
so
at that.
plenty of sound.
Nice. You got some vertical rod holders back here off the transom, which is nice. When you're rigging baits and stuff, it's good to get them out of the way. Otherwise, do we have any? We don't have any up on the hard top here.
No hard
we have
top.
a couple of combos off the
Couple of
leaning
rod
post.
holders right there, and then we can add as many.
You can add as many as you want.
many rod
So
holders
it's
as you
basically
want.
built a la carte depending on what the client wants.
Exactly.
So yeah, this is a great cruising center console, but you can fish off this thing absolutely no problem. You got horizontal rod storage on both sides, or you can put your brushes to clean the boat, your poles for the shades, anything else that you come up with. Then finally we have the V10 400s, which we touched on briefly, almost 70 miles an hour on this thing.
High 60s, great engines for this boat. The torque of the V10s puts it right on plane. I'm a relatively short guy as well, so being that it's a 38-foot boat, there's not a ton of bow jump.
I noticed it as well.
It gets down and
Not far in height. There wasn't much bow rise when we got it on plane. And one thing I noticed is when we were running boat to boat, we were running at a pretty respectable cruising speed, and you were tapping on it, and it was just like,
oh yeah, it wants to go.
It wants to go. I mean, it doesn't take much to blow someone clean off the back of this thing with the power that you have on those V10 400s. So one of our favorite outboards in the industry right now, and excellent combination here, having trips on the 380. Out in the transom, you have a nice flat surface. We have the electronic steering from Mercury that makes that possible, and we have a Garelic 3-step ladder that attaches right here. So you do have the whole side doors, the dive doors, but they are a little higher off the waterline, and I know a lot of our divers out there like to have that close access, and this is where you'll be able to get it. Well, there it is, our first official sea trial and tour of the 380 by Tidewater. Miguel, thank you very much, and Legacy Marine for taking us out.
Of course.
We've enjoyed it. Very impressed with the boat. It's a lot of boat, especially on this one in particular. You mentioned this is a 2025 and still has the boat show special running.
Yeah, we're still running the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show discount at $679. As you see it, everything's equipped. Only optional feature would be the Seakeeper 3 that it's missing. But if that's something you are interested in, feel free to reach out to Legacy Marine up in Stuart, Florida.
All right, guys, we actually shot this mid-November, so it'll take us some time to edit this video, but reach out to these guys. I'm sure they'll take care of you whether this boat is available or not. But thank you guys once again. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Always great hanging out in this area here in Stuart, and we look forward to doing more stuff with you guys in the near future.
Absolutely.